Hey guys, it's Jason or Stealthy SK, and it's been a minute since my last video. Since my last video, I've gotten into Diablo, and I've also had some health issues, but now I'm gonna get back into recording my video. So the topic of this video is gonna be the build, and why I think it's one of the best times to start PoE. The build I'm gonna be showcasing and showing how to gear up and stuff is gonna be this Cold Snap Vortex Elementalist build. Now, when you think Elementalist, you think of a glass cannon, or maybe you think of a minion build. Um, but this build is very tanky and can do all the basic content up to all the bosses. I haven't gotten to Ubers, but I'm sure with a higher budget, you could probably do those too. Everything for the gameplay recorded, I'm going to be showing on the low budget version of this, just so you can see how strong it can get, even with no currency involved. This is going to be all for less than a. I'm going to start by showing some gameplay and explaining some of the mechanics of the build. So the reason this build is so tanky is mostly because of Bastion Element. Now what Bastion Elements does is it gives you level 20 Primal Aegis. Primal Aegis pretty much gives you extra 2500 life for elemental damage. Not only does it give you 2500 shield, after a few seconds the shield replenishes and you're back to full HP. On top of that, we get Eldritch Battery. What Eldritch Battery does is it makes you spend energy shield instead of mana, so we're able to get a ton of auras on top of it. On top of that, energy shield protects mana instead of life, so you always have um, pretty much energy shield slash mana to spend. Now go ahead and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. If you'd like to skip this, there is going to be chapters, so you can just click on the bottom if you want to get to the crafting section. Unfortunately, I didn't record the sound effects to all the clips, so it's just going to be the clips alone, but the music is still going to be in the background.
I'm not the only hunter.
Grip of the Infinite.
Save me.
profound into existence.
When I'm ready, I'm not ready.
Insect charting cracks of ancient stone which you stand, blind to the dead stone force that encircles. It howls. Beats, howls, cries.
I do so enjoy a good shadow. Rise and fight. Mortal flesh is so fallible. I will never tire of this.
Now for your main weapon, you're going to be looking for a scepter that has increased cold damage and +1 to skill gems and an open suffix. The reason you want an open suffix is you can get cold dot. Now this is going to be very inexpensive. This is 5, this is 5, this is 5. So obviously it's going to be very cheap to start. And that's just going to be your main weapon. If you can get extra stuff on it, extra cold damage, extra elemental damage, go and grab those. But besides that, that's what you're looking for. Also, extra mana would help as well. For your shield, you're going to be looking for, again, +1 to skill spell gems. Increased spell damage would be nice. An empty suffix modifier so you can slap on suppress would be nice. Any added intelligence, mana, life, all those would be really nice. They're going to be super cheap. This one's 1 chaos, 1 chaos. So you can get these for pretty much no money at all. For your helmet, it's going to be the unique Eye of Malice Callus Mask. And the 2 modifiers you want to look for is going to be the fire resistance and cold resistance. Just get these as close to 40 as possible. So eventually you're going to stumble upon the Evasion Mastery. And what this will do is give you 15% suppressed spell damage if all your gear has evasion on it. So for your armor, we're going to be looking for something with evasion on it. We're going to make sure we get a 6th link. You can reroll it with chromatics if you need to. It's also going to be an evasion energy shield base. And you just look for something you need that has good resistances, health, anything you need like dexterity or intelligence. And that will be what you use for now. Eventually you'll move on to Skin of Lords, but that's going to be later down the line since it's much more expensive. Now for the rest of your gear, it's going to be balancing stats and resistances. What I like to do is start with the gloves, get the right pair of gloves, and then go from there. So for the gloves, I just got as much resistances as I could, plus spell suppress without being expensive. And then I moved on to the rest of the gear. For the boots, again, I got suppressed spell damage. I needed intelligence, so I got that. I also got cold resist and an open, let me see, it's a prefix or suffix, and an open prefix, and I crafted on the cheaper movement speed onslaught. And from there you can move on to your ring and amulet to fill out the rest of the resistances you need, and then you can move on to your belt. Now unfortunately I sold the belt I was using in the clips, but I ended up switching over to Stygian Vise to fill out my resistances. Got as much chaos as I can, plus life. Your amulet's going to be a little bit specific because you need +1 to all cold skill gems. I also got some mana, some resistances, strength and intelligence, and then I allocated Ash, Frost, and Storm. Now in terms of all the gems and stuff, I'm going to be linking Tripolar Pair's Path of Building, and you can go ahead and follow that. He also has some endgame suggestions. You can use those if you have a tiny bit more currency. And the tree as well will be on there, the one I used. And as far as that, that's pretty much the build and what you're going to get out of it. Thank you guys for watching, and also thank you to Tripolar Bear for giving me some suggestions for my build, and also the POB you guys are going to be using. Alright, you guys have a good one.